Hollywood has this weird conditioning around the mating ritual where the female is playing hard to get. And it's a trope that a lot of us are buying into because it comes from deep down inside, it comes from a very healthy sense of relational dynamics. But the way that we get it up on the big screen and the way that it's portrayed to us through romantic movies is actually quite contemptuous. So the old Hollywood version of it would be that you would have a scene, usually towards the end of the film, where a man would physically grab a woman, and no matter how much she plays hard to get and goes, "No, I don't want this, you're not good for me," like she's physically trying to push him away, and he's not giving in to her negative response. He just goes, "I know what you want. I know you better. I know you're mine. I know your heart, and you're gonna be mine." And the woman just finally softens, and they end up in a fine embrace. Now, in the new, very sensitive Hollywood version of it, like, this would be somewhere on the spectrum of sexual abuse, and this would be a massive no-no, and we're overly sensitive to it. So we've rebranded this trope with dragging out through the entire film a relationship of bickering where a woman is still playing hard to get because she's just not that into this guy, which might be a completely legit thing, or that she's just focusing on her career right now, or she's just in such a messy, chaotic state right now that she just cannot have romance in her life, or whatever. And you would spend most of a romantic movie or a film that is, you know, like an action movie that is more centered around the male and the female character. You would spend most of the film with these two characters who are actively disagreeing with each other on so many things, but it's portrayed as charming and sexy and flirtatious. And it is just a rebranding of this very old sales technique that you're trying to create scarcity around your product, which in a mating situation is always a female. I'm sorry, guys. But the female is the price. So you would create scarcity around this prize, which includes hard to get, hard to approach, and it comes from a good sense, a good core of a male and a female processing their emotions differently. So I've talked a lot about femininity and masculinity, all blah, 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 you know. A female body form and a male body form is biochemically processing emotions in a very different way. Our hormonal, and I'm not saying that females are hormonal, I'm not saying that that's a wrong thing. I'm saying that we are different, and females biologically have a larger capacity to have emotional fluidity as our natural state. It's something that some male body forms are excellent at. Some guys are just so in touch with their feminine side that they have this emotional fluidity and this emotional intelligence that allows them, all of us, to very deeply feel, very deeply go into an emotional state and just as easily, just as quickly get out of it. So the condescending portrayal of this would be a crazy, chaotic female, usually, who doesn't know what she wants, changes her mind all the time. Her mood literally changes with the weather, English weather. And you would have this male figure who's unrelenting, unwavering, immovable, and he just goes, "I know what your heart desires, honey." Now, this genuinely comes from a sense of a male, strong, healthy, masculine, being able to hold space for the feminine emotional fluidity. That's why we're buying into it. That's why it's so attractive, because somewhere very, very deep down inside, we recognize those very basic tropes, because they are so... My issue with the Hollywood version of it, that it's a caricature of the real thing. It's a very low resolution rendition of the emotional complexity that goes on between a male and a female and in an emotionally highly charged situation. So it's not that he knows her mind better. That's very condescending. The truth of that situation is that a masculine mindset is able to hone in on and focus on one thing at a time very deeply. And the feminine mindset is trying to sample a little bit of everything and enjoys flexibility and movement, very quick movement between emotional states. Now, this is where we're divorcing from male form and female form, because feminine and masculine exists in both of them, but it's usually more biochemically frequent for the male body form to just go, can we break this down to one simple thing at a time? And the female body form goes, no, I want all of it all at once because I'm feeling right now. So everything has a heightened importance. And the issue with the portrayal of a simplified, low resolution caricature version of this complexity that goes on beyond between the masculine and the feminine mindset at that point is that if the only thing that you're getting is, I know your heart better, honey, that female who is playing hard to get, but deep down inside, she is looking for that man who knows her heart better, that female, that unapproachable female, is going to attract males who are terrible at reading social cues. Narcissists. Egotistical, self-centered, aggressive, arrogant, single-minded douchebags. Somewhere on that spectrum between physically violent, sexually abusive, neglectful, disregarding, and a version of it who's just verbally abusive, or say just emotionally abusive. But it's all on the spectrum of arrogant narcissists. Because when a female is playing hard to get, but deep down inside, she really deeply wants a healthy masculine who connects, who... It's not that he knows her mind better, but in a healthy masculine strength, he would just be able to anchor one emotion at a time, focus on one emotion at a time. So she feels safe to fully and deeply experience what she is feeling at the time. And the deeper you go into it, the easier to get out of an emotional state. When the feminine mind goes crazy, when the feminine emotional flexibility goes a little bit haywire, is when we're not allowing ourselves to deeply, truly, fully feel. But we're about to go into a feeling state and we're trying to resist it. It's not safe for me to cry right now. It's not safe for me to get angry. It's not safe for me to express my frustration, my loneliness, my desperation, my need, my whatever I'm feeling right now. So we're trying to act like we're one thing, but deep down we're feeling another thing, and we're desperately wanting to be discovered, understood, just telepathically mind read. We just want to be seen for who we truly are. And that's what this Hollywood trope is playing on, where the guy just goes, no matter what you're showing me, honey, I know what's really going on deep down inside. You want me. And so in the old Hollywood version, it would be physically, I'm not letting you go until you admit that you want me. In a new Hollywood version is, over time, I'm gonna wear you down with my charm. But it's the same scale of pretending on both sides. Pretending that we're not feeling something that we want to feel, or pretending that we're feeling something that we actually don't feel. Feeling like I don't need this guy, or I don't care about this guy, when deep down inside we want to connect, we want intimacy. Or pretending that we're so focused on our career right now, but all we want is to have somebody to curl up next to at the end of a long day. When we're showing something that is different from our very core, that's when, if we don't take ourselves seriously, we're opening ourselves up to only be approached by people who are genuinely very bad at reading social cues. And Hollywood is telling us that this is exactly when we're going to meet the right guy, the right person, the right girl, because magically someone will just go, what you're actually showing is not what you want. I know, because I'm so emotionally in tune with you and I'm your soulmate. So I know what you're looking for. That's the promise that those movies are selling. But actually what's going on, what we're being portrayed, what we're being conditioned to be like and to emulate, is never to dare to express how much we care, never to show how much we want one thing, and put on a nonchalant, hard to approach facade that we don't want, we don't need. We're fine by ourselves. We're good on our own. And especially you, I don't want you. I don't know where I'm going with this. I think just to say that, show what's on your heart. Just when you care, just show that you care. Don't pretend that you don't want something or someone. Don't play hard to get. When you don't want someone, just be upfront about it. And if you do want that person, just be upfront about it.